Thank you so much. It's so unbelievably nice to see all of you here tonight. I didn't know it was possible to be as nervous as I was for this reading this far in advance. I'll tell you what's going to happen, and then we'll do it. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit, and then I'm going to invite Hannah Tinty to come up, and she's going to ask me a few questions, and if you have any questions for me, you can ask them. And then that'll be that. And we will go and eat pretzels that my mom brought, well, and my friends brought from Philadelphia, and cupcakes, and there's wine in the back. And then that'll be it. And we'll all go home and we'll feel great. And you know. That'll be it. So you, all of you, and I have been in conversation for over a month, though you probably didn't realize that, as I figured out what I wanted to say tonight and how I wanted to say it. What I feel most of all is gratitude. And I have literally hundreds of people that I want to thank for getting me to this moment in these shoes tonight. And I'm going to list them all right now. Just kidding. Most of those people I listed in this book. But there are a few I'd like to acknowledge tonight. I want to acknowledge the Center for Fiction, Noreen and Kristen and Sugar, who helped me put this event together, and who gave me a fellowship last year that I was in the middle of when I found out about this prize, and I found out that my book was going to be published. Thank you in absentia to the University of Iowa Press, Jim, Allison, Charlotte, and Jim Shepard, who are the reason that any of us are here tonight. Without them, I would be doing what I normally do on a Monday night, which is dancing around to early Madonna with my dog and sharpening pencils. My agent, Renee Zuckerbrot, helped me every step of the way this year, and I'd like to also thank the people who came the farthest tonight, Charlie and Ginger McHugh, Charlie Haggerty, and my mom. They will all be going back to Philly tonight, because for them, it's a school night. I want to thank John Merrill, the guitarist, who thought he'd have a band to play with tonight at Lapis Luna, headed by one of my best friends, Sean Clark. But Sean had a huge emergency today and wasn't able to be here with us tonight. She's fine, but she couldn't sing tonight. And I want to thank you, John, for handling it by yourself, because that was really lovely. Women who run reading series in New York City and have as their goal to help all emerging writers out. They've helped me so much. It's been overwhelming, and their names are Christine Vines, Panina Roth, Julia Fierro, and Vika Miller. I want to thank these ladies because they do what they do and they mostly go unthanked. And finally, I'd like to thank Ted Dodson, who dealt with me all year with grace and strength and who made me beautiful presents like the book trailer some of you may have seen and the introduction that all of you just saw. And I'd like to thank you all for coming so much, and I want to thank the people who got you here tonight listening to me, unseen, and the people who made you strong, so that all of us can be in this room together tonight listening to some literature. And to that end, all further ados done, I would like to read for you. Now, I have a confession to make. Safest Houses is not my first book. My first book I wrote when I was 11, and it was called The Dream Crystal. You've probably heard of it. It's about a fairy queen named Sunalay, whose memory is taken away by her evil and jealous sorceress sister, Satrin. And Sunalay spends most of the book with amnesia, traveling with her new fairy friends to take her rightful place as queen of the enchanted world Neshaminy. The enchanted world I named after my local mall, Neshaminy Mall. And I would like to read to you the first thrilling page of my first book, The Dream Crystal. Oh wait, sorry. I want to show you the illustration. So that's the cover, obviously. So this is Sunalay on the flying through the night. And I named all the fairies after my grade school friends, some of whom I'm happy to say are still my friends, and all of whom I connect with on Facebook, which is the wonders of Facebook. I can't find the picture. Let me just read the first page to give you a little taste. Okay, chapter 1. It goes without saying that all things must begin. You need to know how excited I was about that line. I was 11. The most deadly storm starts with a quiet, peaceful calm that holds an eerie feeling. Silence says a lot. This story begins with one woman, Laura, the mother of winter, guardian of one corner of the earth. Rumors said she lived high in the ice mountains. She was a goddess to some, with her long pale hair and deep blue eyes. To others, she was a wise old dwarf woman with graying hair and rough, raggedy skin. To still others, she was nothing, a figure of superstition, never to be thought about. The latter was false. Laura guarded her realm as best she could and fell deeply in love with the hope that someday she may have a child to carry on her throne. The mothers of spring, summer, and autumn helped her, and together they called to the spirits of the forests and lakes to grant her deepest wish. The legend goes on to say that the spirit of the Ivory Moon Lake, in the form of a goddess, brought forward a baby born from nature and laid the beautiful baby girl in the care of a weeping willow. Leaving the baby cooing and gurgling, the goddess disappeared into the lake. Thank you. So now I'm going to read a story from my second book, Save the Houses. And it's called, actually I wanted to tell you something before I started. I wanted to tell you that this is a story that I wrote when I was going through a really tough time. And it was about 3 years ago, and I was going through a period of time where I couldn't sleep, and I would lay in bed at night and exhaust every option of trying to go to bed. I mean, like counting sheep and watching TV and drinking milk, and nothing worked. And I started writing this story to kind of give me something to laugh about. And so instead of counting sheep, I would recite the story out loud to myself at night. And never thinking that I would ever get a book published and be in a room where I'd be reading it on the other side of all of that. And so it gives me great joy to read this to you tonight. And it's called, and this song that I kind of have always been singing to myself is called Sometimes You Break Their Hearts, Sometimes They Break Yours. It goes without saying that all things must begin. That's not the first one. Be serious, everybody. This is a serious reading. I am like everyone else, good at some things, bad at others. I am good at eating clementines. I am bad at drawing straight lines. I am good at drinking coffee. I would be bad at building a house. If someone asked me to build them a house, I would have to say no. Or I would say yes and worry they would not like the house I built. Why is the kitchen made of coffee filters, they'd say. Why are there no floors? And I'd say, I wish you hadn't asked me to build you a house. I am bad at telling stories. For example, this one is about Christmas lights, and here's the first time I'm mentioning them. A person who knew how to tell a story would start with, this is a story about Christmas lights I finally got around to putting up last night, and the miracle that happened afterward. You know how it is at a party when someone tells an absolute gripper that juggles different characters and lands on a memorable line, and everyone holds their stomachs and looks at each other in shocked amazement, a line that people repeat to each other on car rides home so they can laugh again? I am not that person. I am the one asking the host what kind of cheese it is I'm eating. The name of the planet I'm from does not have an English equivalent. Roughly, it sounds like a cricket hopping onto a plate of rice. I am here to take notes on human beings. I fax them back to my superiors. We have fax machines on Planet Cricket Rice. They are quaint, retro things like vintage ice cube trays. Human beings, I fax, produce water in their eyes when they are sad, happy, or sometimes just frustrated. Water. I work as a receptionist for Landry Business Solutions. I have no idea what we do. When people ask, I say, when businesses have problems, we have solutions. If they press me, I say it involves outsourcing. A monkey could do my job better and with more hilarious results. I answer the phone, keep the candy jar filled, and monitor the bathroom key. 10 minutes out of my 20-minute training were candy jar related. The other 10 consisted of bathroom key shakedown tactics. People are always losing the bathroom key, and the receptionist before me must have gotten frustrated because she hot glued it to a 12-inch ruler. I have no friends at Landry Business Solutions. I assume they are too busy outsourcing and thinking of solutions. They don't bother me, and unless they receive a FedEx package, I don't bother them. Human beings, I facts, fetishize no organ more than the heart. When they like someone, they say, "There's a girl after my own heart." They will sit very close to the person they love with their heart. When they are sad, they say, "My heart is broken." They will tell a large group of people things they don't believe. But the heart is just a muscle with an important job. It's just an area in the body. Human beings with bad eyes, I facts, like to try on each other's glasses. It's because they want to imagine themselves as new people, not because they want to see out of someone else's eyes. After the trade is made, one human being normally says, "Wow, you are blind." I am bad at asking for help. When you ask a human being for help, there is a chance they will say later, "Remember when you asked me for help? Can I borrow $5? That goes for medicine, too. I don't like asking help from pills in a bottle. I don't want to be woken up at night by a tab of aspirin asking to borrow $5. There's a reason it's called alienated. Because I am an alien, I am alone. When you are alone, there is no one to tell. There is a bird whose call sounds like, "Where in the who?" Or, "There's a spider landing on your head." So you have to tell yourself, "There's a spider landing on my head. I should move." Of course there are good days. Days when the clementine skin pulls off whole. Days I don't see anyone in a wheelchair on my way to the train. Human beings, I facts, spend their lives pretending their parents are people with no needs. They do not want their moms to talk about sex or die. Human beings, I facts, did not think their lives were challenging enough, so they invented roller coasters. A roller coaster is a series of problems on a steel track. Upon encountering real problems, human beings compare their lives to riding a roller coaster, even though they invented roller coasters to have fun things to do on their days off. As a child on planet Cricket Rice, I lay in bed trying to figure out a way I could know everyone on planet Earth. America was easy, I could drive through it. Then I would send a letter to one person in every country, and they could tell their friends, and I could know everyone by association. But the language thing was a problem, and I didn't know every country's name, and I used to get really panicky and red-eyed about it. I have other responsibilities at my job. I seat the clients who have problems and are waiting for solutions, but sometimes the person with solutions is late. When people are late to meet me, I assume it's because they lost track of time while planning my surprise birthday party. I wonder, will they remember I like chocolate on chocolate? But most human beings don't like when other people are late. They get frowny-faced and huffy, so I entertain the clients who wait for solutions. I make the candy jar talk, or I tell them I have a friend who has vintage ice cube trays. You pull a silver crank to release the cubes. I say, "Would you like to own vintage ice cube trays?" Normally they say yes, because when they are waiting, human beings can be very participatory. Then I say, "Not me. I don't need getting ice to be a charming experience." I pretend to be very anti-vintage ice cube tray. And in this way, I yank the tablecloth out from under the bottle of wine and candle of the conversation. If you met me, you'd wonder why I do not look like aliens you've seen on TV. "Why aren't you green?" you'd say. "Why isn't your head overlarge?" To answer that, I offer this. Landry Business Solutions had a Halloween costume party, and Tammy came dressed for a regular day at work. She said, "I am a serial killer. We look just like everyone else." When you're alone, you are in the right place to watch sadness approach like storm clouds over an open field. You can sit in a chair and get ready for it. As it moves through you, you can reach out your hands and feel all the edges. And when it passes, and you can drink coffee again, you even miss it because it has been loyal to you, like a boyfriend. If you need it to be about a boy, I'll give you a boy. In a gas station at the end of the day, the fat owner or the skinny teenager he pays counts the drawer, fills the cigarette machine, and flips the closed sign. My ex was the closed sign on that gas station or any store that closes. He used to make fun of me for answering questions with metaphors. He'd say, "How was your day?" And I'd say, "If my day were a bug, I would crush it." He wanted me to say, "My day was fine." He's dead now. And by dead, I mean dating a stripper. Strippers are girls who can say, "My day was fine." Also, they are very good with money. My exes do well after me. I'm kind of like a lucky penny. Cars, in fact, are not attached to anything. They are free to collide with other bodies whenever they want and wreck each other. This would not happen with my bumper car system. Cars would be attached to poles linked to overarching mechanisms, as they are in bumper cars. The worst that can happen in a bumper car is you make a strange face when you smash someone. A strange face that makes the other person think you are uglier than they thought and that maybe there are other ugly things they don't know about you yet. But they forget in the next second when they are smashed by someone else. It doesn't hurt, though, as much as real cars. It doesn't hurt as much. And here's the thing about human beings. Sometimes you smash their cars, sometimes they smash yours. One time I got my nails done, and the girl held my hand so softly I wondered if she knew me. She commented on the loveliness of my cuticles, and she didn't have to. She went out of her way, and human beings don't like to go out of their ways. I said, "I hope nothing bad ever happens to you." 5 days ago, the bathroom key went missing. Landry Business Solutions has a PA, and I made an announcement over it. Why we have a PA is beyond me, since only 12 people work here and they sit in one room. I mean, I could have easily walked into that room and made a medium-volumed inquiry, but I don't like to leave my desk. My announcement over the PA was this: "Will whoever has the bathroom key please return it?" 3 hours later, Delilah slammed the key on my desk. The door had gotten stuck and she had been trapped in the bathroom for hours. No one heard her yelling. She missed a meeting and still no one thought to look for her. She heard my announcement in the bathroom where she sat, trapped, hating me. Someone from another office finally heard her screaming and climbed through a heating duct to free her. Delilah, disoriented, left early. You know, it's a bad day when you realize how unimportant you are. Human beings who are squeaky wheels, I fax, get everything they want. Quiet humans who don't complain get nothing. Squeaky wheels will complain when they have an obstructed view of a movie screen until they get a better seat. But in the better seat, they will find something else to complain about. This floor is sticky. The cup holder isn't big enough for my deluxe soda. I have to believe that quiet humans who don't complain see half the screen but are happier. But maybe they're not. Maybe they spend their lives sad because they can't participate in conversations about movies. Harrison Ford was in that movie, they say? I had no idea. It would be easier if it were a boy. Then I could say to Tammy or Grace at work, "I feel lonely because of a boy." And they could say, "Men are like trains. There's one every 5 minutes." But if I say, "I am an alien taking notes on human beings to fax to my superiors," they would have no arsenal of information from which to draw. They would not know what to say at all. 2 days ago, they passed around a newspaper article at Landry Business Solutions, and I realized I do everything wrong. I tie my shoes wrong, and they are the wrong shoes. I breathe wrong, I walk wrong. The article was about a place far away whose inhabitants are so poor they have to eat dirt. There was a picture of a dirt-eating girl standing with a bicycle. The right thing to say was what everyone was saying. What a shame. Where's my checkbook? What I said was, how did she get her arms to look like that? Is it from the constant bike riding? See, it's not a boy or a job or a family or a house. It's the world. There are so many people. Okay, this is the part with the Christmas lights and the miracle. Yesterday I stopped to collect a heads-up penny and I was late for the train to work. I walked fast to catch it. People who walk fast look weird, and every time I'm walking fast, I think how weird I must look. But still, I missed the train. The doors laughed at me. But trains are like men. There's one every 5 minutes, so I got home. I wasn't that late. No one noticed anyway. But the candy jar was empty, and I couldn't get to the store until noon, and I smiled at Delilah, and she did not smile back. The day was a slippery rock I couldn't climb. Walking home, I heard a couple arguing, and even though he was insisting, I knew it was the end. Then I saw 2 people in wheelchairs. You are not allowed to feel bad about anything when you are around people in wheelchairs. This is why I don't like people in wheelchairs. You can say, sometimes at night I wake up and my throat is filled with loneliness and I am choking. And they will say, I'm in a wheelchair. And they will win. They are the human pain equivalent of a royal flush. Then I remembered that morning I'd collected a heads-up penny and nothing lucky had happened to me. I felt swindled, behind in the count. You know, it was one of those days. I got home and there were still the Christmas lights to hang, and it was time. It was not time to check how much sugar I had. It was not time to say the word rose over and over until I forgot what it meant. It was no time other than the time it was to hang the lights. So I got a ladder and a staple gun, and I climbed to the roof of the house I could not be trusted to build. And I hadn't asked anyone the proper way to hang lights, so I crawled around stapling haphazardly to the shingles. Not a line, but words, 2 words, to let my superiors know I was finished taking notes, and to come and get me in their glorious spaceships. When I was done, I climbed down and I checked my work. In lights I had stapled, help me. I figured it was best to err on the side of honesty. I didn't learn that on Earth. I ate a fork full of cold noodles and I went to bed. At 3 a.m., a commotion on my front lawn woke me. It sounded like an army of washing machines in their final cycles had congregated outside my window. My bed hummed. I looked out. Beams of ambitious light jackknifed through the yard. Aggressive, angel light, light that somersaulted and looked like sound. Red lights and white lights. They were cars. More cars than I could count. The first ones pulled onto my lawn so the others would have room to park behind them. They held human beings who disembarked holding baskets with cloth over them. I recognized my mother, the manicurist, my ex, the stripper he dates, Delilah. People filled my street and the street next to it, and the cars were still coming. I could see headlights for miles. They were still coming. I was down on my knees. You know, one human being cannot withstand the force of that much kindness. Do you know what I mean?